recipe required. I'm Dave and it is winter time. If you can see outside, I got like 6 or 7 inches of snow on the ground. Didn't get that in California, but now that I'm in Massachusetts, I'm bearing the brunt of it. And so we're talking warm, kind of winter hearty soups today. This recipe, I'm going to do a broccoli cheddar soup. I got my little piece of broccoli here. I got, probably 2 heads this size. This one I've already cut in half. We're going to chop it up, toss it in a pot, then throw a potato in there, some vegetables, some garlic, some onions, make kind of a soup base, and then at the end we'll show you how to add the cheddar cheese. I also incorporate a roux in this, a little bit of flour and fat. That helps thicken the soup and again give it that hearty feel. This is an awesome way, I think, to eat broccoli. I'm not a huge kind of raw, plain broccoli fan, but a little bit of manipulation like this in a soup, absolutely a great way to do it and get some a really healthy vegetable into your diet. So let's go ahead and get started on this soup. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started on our soup. I got a pan over the heat, a little bit of olive oil, as always, in the pan. Then for veggies, my garlic, my onion, we'll throw all those in there. Don't worry so much about chopping them neatly because this is it's a pureed soup, so it doesn't have to be super fine dice or anything like that. A little bit of salt in the pan. That's going to help kind of loosen everything up, obviously for flavor in there. A little bit of pepper as well. And I'm just going to let these go for about 8 to 10 minutes until the onions become soft and translucent. Okay, so our onions are cooked down. I've got kind of 2 heaping tablespoons of flour here. You can probably go a little bit more. I would err on the side of more instead of less. You're going to form a roux here. A little bit of maybe more olive oil if you need it. You want kind of a nice paste in there. And in about 5 minutes of cooking this down, that raw flavor of the flour is going to be cooked out. And this is going to do 2 things. 1, thicken the soup, and then 2, really provide kind of the body to hold that cheese in the soup as opposed to letting it break out. Okay, really simple now. So I'm throwing some chicken stock in there. I happen to have homemade, but by all means you can use store-bought. You're going to put that in. You're going to let it come up to temperature, and things are going to start to thicken. While you're doing that, you're also going to cook some potatoes. Now, potato adds a nice, again, thickening agent in there, a little more body to the soup, and frankly, makes it a little bit more mild. I've also got almost a full head of broccoli chopped up in here as well. We're just going to add all of that in there, cook it slowly, let it come up to a simmer, add a little bit of seasoning, of course. Once the potato and the broccoli are tender, we're going to come back and blend this all up into our soup. Okay, so I've got my little stick blender here. You can do this in a blender, regular blender. Once everything is cooked down, we're just going to hit it with a blender, puree it until it is nice and smooth, silky texture, no big chunks left in there at all. Okay, so after a few minutes of whirling around and making sure our soup is pureed, we've got it nice and smooth. Now is our first taste test, so go ahead, grab a spoon. And this one definitely needs a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. We'll throw in there as well. It's to taste. I find most of the time it's under seasoned and can always use just a little bit more. Now, I'm also going to add. I'm going to throw a little bit of cream in this one. Very, very optional. Again, nice way to add just a little bit of body. You can add more than I do. You can not use any. And then, of course, it's broccoli cheddar soup. So I've got a good pile of cheddar here. This is probably 2 cups worth of sharp cheddar. You could go extra sharp if you want. I think regular cheddar or mild cheddar wouldn't really bring out the flavors. So you go ahead and stir that in. Now, the roux is going to help make sure that the cheese doesn't break apart, but you really don't want to boil the soup anymore. So turn it down to a simmer. You want it warm enough to melt the cheese, but like I said, not boiling. You could blend it a little bit more if you need to, but really it's just about stirring it in, making sure it's nicely incorporated and integrated. Of course, now that the cheese in, you want to taste it one more time. You guys with the Nazi spoons, don't worry about me double tasting. It's just my family eating it. Go ahead, throw in one more seasoning adjustment if you need it, and we're essentially good to go. We can go ahead and serve this guy up. Okay, let's go ahead and serve up our soup. Now you can notice mine's turned a little bit of a dull gray. If you want a bright, vibrant one, a nice little trick, puree a little bit of fresh spinach in there right before serving. That'll brighten the whole thing up. I'm just going to serve mine as is. We'll go ahead and take it into our bowl here. I like to garnish mine with a little bit of the broccoli florets. These are just like those little tiny ends that I shaved off the broccoli and just kept to the side. I didn't even cook them. I'm cool with them raw. Throw in a little bit more shredded cheddar on our soup.
And we're essentially looking done. I think this is an awesome, delicious, rich winter soup, and I think you're gonna love it.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching me make this cheddar and broccoli soup. They are, obviously, it's a combination that goes oh so well together, and it's a perfect winter soup, one of my all-time favorites, and great way to get myself and my kids eating broccoli. Two other great ways, I'm gonna show you links right here. One is a broccoli gratin with a nice little breadcrumb and cheese crust. Super yummy way to do it. And then just about anything works well on a pizza. So here's my broccoli flatbread. Go ahead, give this a try. Let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time on No Recipe Required.